Hi, this is Curious Mystics Podcast. Together we explore the mysteries of the spiritual world, sometimes boldly,
Sometimes cautiously,
but always with open hearts.
and curious minds.
See you soon. Hello, it's Erica from Curious Mystics Podcast, and today I am solo. Kim has decided to step away from the podcast to continue to work on her own practice, which I'm very proud of her for knowing what she needs and saying what she needs and working on herself. And I'm going to miss her greatly, as I'm sure all of you are, but don't worry. We're going to keep trucking on here. All right, guys. So I just lit my candle, did some smoke cleansing, and I'm kind of grounding down to decide what I'm going to say and do next. The phrase, I am the storm, keeps coming to mind. And that's, anybody that knows me knows that's kind of my mantra. And I kind of discovered it back in like 2018, where I heard the phrase, the devil said that you are not strong enough to withstand this storm. And I whispered back, I am the storm. And at that time, it meant something different than it does now to me. At that time, and for a long time, I've been dealing with physical problems such as I have MS, and that's wreaked havoc on me over the years, although managed well, but it still is a day-to-day thing that I have to deal with. And at that time, I saw it as a mantra of me overcoming my physical storm, my medical issues. And then in 2020, when everybody kind of got hit, we also got hit with some pretty significant family trauma, along with COVID, and along with, financial hardships and just being a healthcare worker during that time and continued family issues. And I lost that I am the storm feeling. Anytime I had previously thought of myself, when I said that, I envisioned myself gathering energy and being able, in the storm, just being riling around me and me walking strong and proud and just able to just blow this storm away. And at that time, when I was going through all of that in the years of like 2020 to 2024, I couldn't envision that anymore. I didn't see myself as the storm anymore. When I pictured that, I pictured myself just holding on to dear life and the storm taking me, trying to take me away. And if you ever, the original Twister movie, where the category 5 comes through and they're holding on to that pipe, like that's how I felt. Like I felt like I was holding on for dear life and barely being swept back by that storm. And the devil was laughing. The devil's like, oh, really? Oh, really? You're strong enough? Yeah, sure. And around 2024, actually, I don't even know, but I started to have an awakening, as they say. I'm just going to call it a spiritual awakening for lack of anything else. But I started to realize that there is more out there than myself. And I was able to see that and tap into it. And I found shamanism, which has been a godsend for me, or spirit send, if you will. That's helped me be able to tap into nature, tap into spirit, tap into my spirit allies, And then through that knowledge, then starting to do more research and now being able to work with the cycles of the seasons. And through that work and through that tapping into those different things, I began to heal. And next time I thought about that phrase, I started to stand up. I was not moving in it, but I was at least standing up. I wasn't being thrown around by the storm anymore. And then as I continued to grow, continued to have more experience with spirit, continue to learn so much more about this ability to heal from within, remembering myself. Some people call it rewilding, whatever you want to call it. But I was able to finally stand up in that storm again. But this time it was different. This time when I think about I am the storm, I imagine that energy that I'm able to pull in is from spirit, from my spirit allies, from my teachers, from the earth, from the mountains, from the rivers, from everything. And I pull it all in and I give it back. I give it back to what is bringing me down, that storm, and blowing that storm away. And yeah, I'm back. That devil, he's running scared, you know? So, and this is kind of what I want to talk about going forward. I want to talk about this journey of how to tap into nature and the cycles of nature, the cycles of myself, spirit allies, how we utilize them, how we work with them, how we give back to them. Because I want other people, and I've worked with other people, to help them see this as well. I've seen it in myself, and I've seen it in other people, and I've seen it in the people around me, just being around me, and me having done this work and kind of working through this. That they can bring themselves up to. They can remember themselves. I want you to be able to remember who you are. And if you don't feel like you've forgotten, that's fine. But let's make community. Let's make community of people who are like-minded and want to be accessing and believing and healing through nature and spirit. Because with everything that's going around in the world right now, it can feel like we're isolated and it feels like we can't do anything. We can't do anything about it. But we can. We can, because every time we connect with nature, we raise our vibration. I talk about that all the time. Kim and I have talked about that 100 times about raising your vibration. If you don't know what I'm talking about at this point, please go back. We've got multiple episodes about it. But by raising our vibration on a day-to-day basis, we're able to raise the vibration of people around us and the energy around us. And then that person is able to raise their vibration, and it just goes on and on and on. When my husband and I got married, my husband is Laotian, and we had an American ceremony. We also had a Laotian ceremony. And in that ceremony, at one point, we're all given a string off of these two main flower towers, and everybody that was at that ceremony took a piece of that string, and a piece of that string just showed we were all connected. We were all connected to one thing. For me, I'm going to say spirit. We're all connected to spirit. Our vibrations are all affected by each other. And I just love that imagery where we each just had a piece of that and we were all connected just all the way around. And if we can remember that and build community around that, then we can blow this storm away. We could blow this devil away. I really believe that. And you might say, Erica, I don't have time for this. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I understand. I get it. I do. I'm a mom. I work full-time in healthcare. I do this podcast. I do the shamanism. I do one-on-one mentoring. I get it. And I also have these other medical things that I'm dealing with on my own and my own mental health. I get it. But I'm going to show you that this could be done with seconds a day. You don't need big rituals. You don't need big ceremonies. You can raise your vibration simply by acknowledging the sun in the morning and saying, hello, beautiful sun. I acknowledge you. I honor you. I thank you. Period. When you see a beautiful flower, we just had Imbolc, meaning that the spring is going to start. I promise, even though we just had a blizzard today, I promise the spring's coming. When you see just that little bud, appreciating it, having gratitude that it is coming up, that it is doing the work. It's little things like that. We'll get into bigger things, 100%. There's a lot of other things you could do, but just starting there, and if that is all you ever do, that's fine. That still raises your vibration, and therefore your vibration raises everybody else. So, if you're on board with that, if you're interested in that, if you want to talk about that, come on with me. Let's do it. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have stories that you have done, that you've seen or experienced, things that helped you heal or others heal, let me know. Put it in the comments. You can DM me at curious_mystics_podcast on Instagram, Facebook, wherever. So I plan on the ride that I'm taking. So let's go be the storm, guys.